First, I would like to thank everyone that came here tonight, took time out, and paid the $25. But I would have talked for free. So, you know. And the school that we once knew is gone, and Burton has merged with Girard and became North Mac. And I hear that's North McCubbin, so I believe that's it. And then you guys might also hear me say y'all and all of y'all occasionally. And so if anyone's from the South, you'll know what that means. And then I tried to actually go back and say like, all you, or is it you, all, you what? You. It just doesn't sound right saying anything but y'all. All right, it's all y'all. That's what you're gonna hear it. So I lived there for about 14 years. So that gets me to, I'm actually hoping for like a North mac and cheese cook-off. If we can get that going with the brisket. Because they go together, right? North mac and cheese, we could do it. It's like the only town that could do it. So, and, so I am fixing to tell some jokes, as you can tell. And then, actually one funny one that you could get almost anybody on is that, like a lot of us were born in the latter half of the 1900s. And so anyone over 25 was born in the latter half of the 1900s. And it sounds like it's so old, right? Except to people that really were, you know, I get it. Some people here are the first half, but you guys are great. So, you're out of here. So being that old, we also remember, do you remember, so nowadays you got like the Twitter and it's X, and then it used to have the, you know, it used to be called the pound sign, and then they changed it to the hashtag, all right? And do you know why they changed it to the hashtag? It had to deal with the Me Too movement, because they had to call it the hashtag Me Too movement, because they did like demographic polls, and it was only white guys from Hollywood that wanted to be called the Pound Me Too movement. So I'm like, is that terrible?
I know, that's very
Just kidding. I don't know why it switched over, but I think it timed it out pretty good, because that was terrible. But anyway, I'll provide some degree of certainty that I won't joke anymore. And if that degree of certainty was rounded to the nearest whole integer, that integer would be 0. So not only did I become learned in math and about them integers, I can use them in a sentence. A little bit of a joke too, I guess. And I do have a grammar joke too. It sounds like an oxymoron, because grammar and jokes aren't really a thing. So, and I could go for the low-hanging fruit, talk about how like a door opens just a crack, it's actually a jar. And but in San Francisco, jokes about such small cracks, they'd be crazy but fun. No, okay. I'm not going to, okay. All right, so do you know how to tell if I'm lying or not? So the other day I heard a participle joke. That's obviously not true, but yes. So, and after a few drinks, participles have been known to openly dangle in a vulgar manner. Right? It sounds dirty, but that is actually dangling a participle. It is. That's not my first attempt at a participle joke, if you guys don't believe it. I have others, but I probably will tell one more. But anyway. And so participles, they can't have a few drinks because they were never alive. And I learned that in Mr. Owen's biology class. Unlike the cats and sharks and feral pigs, fetal pigs, that we were able to dissect. So I don't know what you guys got to dissect when you were in school, but we had sharks, and we had like pigs and cats. It was amazing. Oh, well, we had frogs too, but like, I just don't throw that up there. That's not my favorite. It's a solid number 2. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. I love this. Okay, and so on the, oh, this is a dumb joke. All right, let's prioritize participation in the participle play. Okay, got it. Okay, so walking on the beach, the sun shone right into my eyes. So first off, the sun isn't walking on no beach. So obviously it's messed up. But that is also dangling a participle. All right. So I would like to start. You guys have mentioned Eric Wolf. I think he was in that 4-person relay. And he was the one that won that. Well, he passed away a few years ago. But he was a good friend of mine. And him and I used to catch bees. And so, it may seem odd, we catch them with our hands. And so I've had some luck catching flies, and I was actually able to take string and basically make a slip knot, and I could hook it around the fly's neck, and I could have a fly on a leash, and so it was alive, and I could undo it. I know. I see, just believe it's true. And then one time I borrowed Tracy Hickey's hair to do one in school, so I had a fly on a leash. And funny thing about Tracy Hickey is she has a brother named Lance Hickey. Some of you guys may know. And the name Lance is actually pretty rare nowadays. But did you know in medieval times, people were called Lance a lot? I know. Okay. All right, so back to the wolf. So we would catch these bees, and then you got to hold them from the side, and then you got to remove the stinger, because you're not going to, that's dangerous otherwise. And then when you remove them, half the time it's going to go into your hand. But if you have like denim or any type of rough fabric, you just go back and forth, stingers come right out. And you're good, just that amount of friction. Yeah, apiary. You got an apiary in the house? Yes! I love bees! Yep. I have a much greater respect for them now. And they're a lot stronger in carrying strings, too. I mean, they can carry yarn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they are a strong flyer. And if you pull the stinger out, it's basically a sack, and it's got like a point, and it's got the barb that comes down that tries to jab you. And if you just hold it on your finger, it will pulsate, and it will try to go into your finger. So even when the bee is gone, and the bees, I don't know how long they last after their stingers pulled out, but it's over 10 minutes. I've never seen one die from having to take that. So I know that in school they always act like, oh, it's going to die real quick. It's not true. I know it. 5 minutes. Okay. All right, so here's in biology class. So this was about Michelle Irish. And most of my jokes are victimless, or at least I'm the intended victim. This one has a little iffy. But anyway, we were studying ocean life, and there's like splinterrates, like jellyfish and other things, and there's like sponges and all that kind of stuff. And Michelle Iris asked me to give her a question to ask that would sound real smart. And I said, well, ask him how sponges are used as contraceptives. And so I think we were like freshmen in high school, like not everybody knew what was going on then. And so Mr. Owens is standing up in the middle of the room, and she asked him. And his jaw dropped. And Shannon Dennis on the other side of the room just starts busting up laughing, and everyone's laughing, and she's pointing at me. She's like, he told me to say it, and it was true. I mean, it was, wow, that was so funny. I actually reached out to her today to make sure she was okay with me telling this story, and she totally is. And so I don't know if there was any trauma, ocean-based trauma that I gave her, but she was actually a flight attendant, so it's like the only people that work further from the ocean are astronauts. So, I don't know, probably okay then. Yep. Let's see. All right, Josh Snodgrass, you guys remember him? Got a story about him. So I was on the football team, I was a freshman, and this is a character building moment. So I'm like 125 pounds, and Josh and I are both trying to go for the same ball. So it's a big pass, we're both trying to get it, and then he actually catches it as I tried to, and I just bounced right off of him. And, which is fine, it didn't hurt, you got pads and everything. And I asked him right after that, I was like, oh, sorry to run into you there. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about, what do you mean? And it just happened, and he didn't know that I had run into it at full speed. So like, anyway, so that was my last year for football because, I mean, it's not crazy. Let's gotta learn one's limits. Yes. Yes. Who's with me tonight? Courtney Lowe. That is the main part of my story here. And Meredith.
And Meredith too.
Oh, man, that's
She's
okay.
all paid.
You can leave me out of it.
You get a story? That's on page 10. Hold on.
But then who was